Who was David Ricardo? David Ricardo was an influential English economist who systematized classical economics in the 19th century. Born in London in 1772 and passing away in Gloucestershire in 1823, he argued that efforts to increase workers' incomes were largely futile, with wages tending to stay near subsistence levels. Ricardo's significant contributions include theories on diminishing returns, comparative advantage, the labor theory of value, Ricardian equivalence, and the theory of rent. Ricardo's journey into economics began in his late 20s, sparked by reading Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations. His interest in economic theory deepened through discussions with contemporaries like James Mill, who encouraged him to articulate his views. In 1809, he started writing newspaper articles on currency, engaging in the Bullionist Controversy, which advocated for the restoration of paper money's convertibility to gold. His publications laid the groundwork for the classical approach to monetary theory. His theory of diminishing returns posits that when variable inputs are added to fixed inputs, marginal output initially rises but eventually declines, reaching zero and then turning negative. This concept underlines the limitations of production efficiency. Ricardo is also renowned for his theory of comparative advantage, which suggests that a country's economic growth is enhanced by specializing in the production of goods for which it has the lowest opportunity cost. He illustrated this through England and Portugal, where England excelled in cloth production while Portugal was more efficient in producing wine. This specialization allowed both nations to maximize their economic welfare. Additionally, the labor theory of value posits that the value of a good is determined by the labor time required for its production. This idea was later adapted by Karl Marx. Ricardo's earlier explanations involved simple economies where shifts in labor would affect production levels and income. His Ricardian theory of rents explained the nature and origin of economic rent, defining it as the payment made to landowners for using the land's natural resources. This theory highlights that rent arises from land scarcity and variations in soil fertility. Ricardo differentiated between scarcity rent and differential rent, with the former emerging from increased demand and the latter reflecting productivity differences among various lands. Lastly, the Ricardian equivalence theory posits that consumers anticipate future tax increases when the government borrows funds for tax cuts or spending. This concept challenges the Keynesian perspective on using debt-financed government spending to stimulate aggregate demand, suggesting that such measures might lead to reduced public consumption as individuals save for future tax obligations.